What's good, y'all? What's the numbers TV? It's your boy Po Ro. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and like a video if you appreciate the content that Po Ro and What's the Numbers I provided. Today we back with a profile piece. This one is on young greatness. In this video, we take a look at his early life growing up in the St. Bernard housing projects, which are located in the 7th Ward of New Orleans. Then we will take a look at his start musically and how being displaced by Hurricane Katrina will play a big part in young greatness' rap career once he relocated to Texas. And lastly, we will look at some of the accomplishments in music young greatness was able to achieve before being shot and killed in October of 2018. Theodore Jones, better known as Young Greatness, is from the 7th Ward of New Orleans. Coming out of the St. Bernard area, his childhood would be rough, but his interest in football would keep him out of trouble by taking up most of his free time. Already coming from a city with multiple legendary rappers, Young Greatness would be inspired to rap once out of high school. His mentor at the time musically would be local rapper Andre Deuce Noel. Deuce would take Young Greatness under his wing and start to work with him, and also show him the ins and outs of the New Orleans hip-hop scene. Once Young Greatness would start to find his sound a bit musically, a disaster would strike New Orleans in August of 2005. Hurricane Katrina would hit Louisiana as a Category 3 storm, flooding the city and breaking the levees in the process. Many people who weren't evacuated died during Hurricane Katrina, but Young Greatness, who was stuck in the St. Bernard's housing projects for the entire storm, survived, although he was left with nothing. After the storm lightened up, Young Greatness would be evacuated and end up settling in Houston, Texas, with almost 250,000 other evacuees from New Orleans. Houston would end up being a positive in Young Greatness' life, as it became a second home to him. During that time, Houston also had a huge influence on hip-hop. Bun B, Chamillionaire, Mike Jones, and other Houston artists were buzzing at the time. He met a few of those artists and they had a major impact on his approach to the game, as he was able to see the hard work and independent hustle they put in before blowing up on the mainstream. Young Greatness actually started rapping in 2003, a few years before the storm, but it wasn't until he moved to Texas that he started taking music more seriously. He would go on and secure his first record deal while staying in the Lone Star State. Although the deal would eventually fall through, he still lived in Houston for 3 years and loved every minute of it. Once he left Houston after the record deal fell through, Young Greatness found himself back in New Orleans. Still hungry to make rap work, he turned to the streets to support his music career. In the process of running up the bag, Young Greatness would be arrested and end up spending 2 years at LaSalle Correctional Facility in northern Louisiana. Once released from prison in 2010, Young Greatness would formulate a plan to live between Atlanta and New Orleans until his music career started to grow. He understood that New Orleans didn't have the resources necessary to push an artist to the mainstream at the time, and knew he had to reach out to bigger markets. He stayed in New Orleans for 7 days and stayed in Atlanta for 7 days, for 3 years straight. Young Greatness would release his first mixtape in 2012, called Rich and Famous, which was hosted by DJ Smalls. The mixtape wouldn't blow him up overnight, but it was a solid release for a new artist, and would start to get the attention of some movers and shakers on the Atlanta music scene. 2014 would become another breakout year for Young Greatness after he released Dollar for Hate, featuring guest appearances from Meek Mill, Pusha T, and Juvenile. The project earned him a NOLA Hip Hop Award for Mixtape of the Year. Coach K and P, over at Quality Control Records and Atlanta Power Label, were paying attention to the music and watching the moves Young Greatness was making in the music industry as an independent artist. The duo would call Young Greatness, and after a few meetings he was signed with one of the hottest labels in the game. Once signed, Young Greatness went to the studio for 2 months straight. Akon's brother Omar was in the studio with him and was blown away by his sound and originality. He called Akon to the studio, and Akon loved it so much he asked Quality Control to get in on Young Greatness' situation and become a co-manager. Next for Young Greatness in 2015 will be a new mixtape, this one named I Try to Tell Him, which will have his biggest song to date on it. The song Moolah, produced by Jazzy Faye, went gold and reached number 85 on the Billboard Hot 100. The exposure will help Young Greatness get more radio spins and grow his fan base outside of New Orleans and Atlanta. In 2017, Ronald Slim Williams, Cash Money co-founder, reached out to Young Greatness after it became public that his situation at QC was changing. He wanted to help Young Greatness because he was from New Orleans and wanted to see someone from New Orleans win. Eventually, Young Greatness would leave Quality Control and sign to Cash Money Records with the help of Birdman. His first release on Cash Money would be a mixtape called Bloody Summer. Although it wouldn't blow up like Moolah, it was a solid start to his career at Cash Money. But unfortunately, that would be the only Cash Money release from Young Greatness because in October of 2018, he was shot and killed outside of a Waffle House in New Orleans. The shooting, which was described as a botched robbery by law enforcement, had others thinking it was a targeted hit on young Greatness's life. Eventually, 3 men were arrested for the murder, and after the court proceedings played themselves out, 2 pleaded guilty to robbery and manslaughter charges and was sentenced to 20 plus years, while the last defendant chose to take it to trial, with no updated information on the result of his case yet. But yo, it's What's the Numbers TV is a quick profile piece on Theodore Jones, better known as Young Greatness out of New Orleans. Now, I wasn't all the way up on Young Greatness at the time that he passed away, but I did hear that Moolah song before, this and that, when he was running with QC and all that. But so he had a nice little buzz down bottom, like when he was at New Orleans, Atlanta. He was definitely buzzing a little more out there. If QC picked him up, you know what I'm saying, that means he was definitely doing something in the streets, because, you know, they had Migos, Little Baby, Little Marl, they had a bunch of artists, you know what I'm saying? So if he was buzzing enough to get picked up by them, I'm pretty sure he was doing something out there, you know what I'm saying? He lost his life in New Orleans. Now, a lot of people were trying to say it was a hit, because this is one thing I did see when he did the VladTV interview. You know, sometimes Vlad will do an interview with people before everybody even knows who he is. So, and in the interview I was watching, he was like talking about, you know, Vlad asked like, you think like you're killing your city, or you dangerous? Is it a danger being a rapper and all that? And he was like, yeah, I feel like people out to kill him, but, you know, what can he really do? So when it came out that he died a little while after in his own city, you know, it made a little more headlines and all that. So you might have been in tune with him off of that interview, if, you know, you be on the internet at all watching different interviews and stuff like that. But, you know, rest in peace to him for sure. Now, I took a little light in February. I had a lot going on. Also, I was on that stock wave trying to get some money off them stocks. If any of y'all into that, let me know. Maybe I'll do a video on that where we can have a little discussion in the comments or something. You know, I'm always open to get a bag, especially if it's legal. So let me know if you're into that. But yeah, I was running around trying to get the stock, you know, getting all that set up, all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I took it a little easy on the videos this in February. But in March, we locked back in. The studio is almost done. I want to say it's about 80%. Don't forget, we're working on that too. And I'm gonna go live at the top of March. Like, look for a couple lives in the first week of March, so I can, you know, catch up with y'all, see what y'all getting into. But I ain't gonna ramble on this one too long. Go follow the Patreon, the Instagram, the membership, the merch. I got some new t-shirts coming out, so don't even trip. Might be like 50 of them, limited edition. I'll sell them off the Instagram or through the PayPal or something like that. But I'll let y'all know when that's finalized. But like I said, man, it's What's the Numbers TV. Go follow that Instagram for me, y'all. And I'll be back before you know it. It's your boy Paul Rowe. We out of here. Peace.